Well, hey everybody, this is Ethan with Beware Beekeeping. I'm just gonna take you guys through a quick bee inspection. Been getting a little bit of questions from friends and family, so I figured I'd make a little video and kind of show what I do. So I got two hives here. Both of them are nucs, or nucleuses as we call them. They're 5 frames of bees with queen on and everything like that. They've been in here for about 2 weeks, so this is really our first really in-depth inspection, seeing how they're doing. I have been feeding them on top. We used a little bit of a 1-to-1 sugar water with some kind of pollen additive and some other kind of nutrients for them. So I've been doing that and monitoring that, kind of how they're going. But we're really just going to crack into it and see how they're getting along. So first is we're going to kind of smoke the hive a little bit. You might see 2 boxes on here. This one's really just empty, so they're all just down here. This is up here just to kind of house the feed. So we smoke them a little bit. Really what the smoke does is it just kind of blinds them, if you will. They have they communicate using their antenna, and this kind of just puts a little bit of a barrier between them. And what they end up doing is it prevents them from really kind of communicating like an alarm, so they won't get as angry. So yeah. So right here we just have the 2 empty jars. I put a little screen mesh here on between this box and this box, and that's really just to keep the bees from getting too out and about, and it also kind of protects the hive if anything else gets in this box that's wanting after that sugar water stuff. So yeah, this was just some kind of screen mesh you get like on a screen door. Just kind of cut it to size. All right, this is the first look really in the hive. Got some bees all on this. We also did have a little bit of rain the past couple of days. We're here in central Texas, and so it's been a little rainy. So on top here we've got a little bit of comb. This is going to be usually drones, which is the males. Most of the hive is female, all the smaller bees, but they'll put drones on the top and in kind of bigger spaces because they're a little bit larger. So first things first, we just kind of pull out one of the outermost frames so we can get to work in here. Thank you, hon. Got my beautiful wife Mel here working the other camera. All right, now if you see here, what I did is I put some wax on these. So I made all of these frames here. These are all 3D printed, and you put wax on it. And the reason you do that is, one, it gets the bees interested. When you have just something plasticky, they're not really going to want to work on it. And then you give them more wax. This is again a new hive, so they're trying to get started. They'll repurpose wax. So yeah, you'll see my kind of my little test. This is my test hive, and the other one's kind of my control. And in here I have some 3D printed foundation, and then I have some commercial foundation, which people use. Kind of same principle. I'm just trying to see if there's any note difference between a 3D printed one and something you get at the store. So see here, this is a good example of them building the comb. If you can kind of see at an angle there how they're building it up from the foundation. So this is good to see that they're really starting to make headway on it. All right, I was kind of, I don't want to disrupt them too much, so we'll just put this one back over here. All right. So yeah, hives they're interesting. The way bees do it, they're very complicated. You wouldn't think they are. You think, oh, they're just a bug, right? Very complicated way that they set things up. So the middle of this hive is going to be what they call brood. That's where they raise their young. And the outer ones, as they work out, is going to be more towards food, pollen, honey, or pollen and nectar that they're gathering, and then they're turning it into honey. Like this one right here, I can tell is honey, and the way you can tell is because it's heavy. So you can see some stuff going on in here. If you see like bright yellow and orange, that is all pollen. If it's glistening, that's probably nectar. Not seeing too much on this side. I think it's because they're using it, but you see this in the top corner here, all that kind of mushed covered stuff, that's all capped honey. So that's honey that's good to go. So how you get honey is really taking nectar, it mixes with an enzyme of theirs, And yeah, you can see on the back side here, this is all getting towards honey. So the nectar mixes with an enzyme will turn into honey. But the bees will have to flap their wings and get it to the right moisture content. They have to get it down to about 12, 15, 17%, somewhere around there. And the reason for that is they'll just cap it over, and that's how it keeps. If it gets above that and it stays, open or whatever, it'll actually start fermenting. So that's kind of the long and short of that. Yeah, that was a frame full of a lot of pollen and honey. I'm gonna back off a quick sec because I gotta take my glasses off. All right, part 2. It kind of helps, just they're small. Helps being able to see things. Thank you. Thanks for fluffing that up. So yeah, right now we're really just going to be looking at how they're doing on production. Again, we're seeing them drawing some combs, so that's good. Really what we're now just going to do is we're going to check on how our queen is laying, if we see some brood. So this is actually just more pollen and such. Yeah. We're going to check on, so you can see bright yellow and orange pollen, and this is capped over brood here. You can kind of tell the difference capped over brood because it's very distinct circular in the hexagon bit, so it's a little circle, and they're just trying to pack the rest of this with food. So it's good to see capped brood. That means that they're a couple weeks old. A full-grown worker bee will hatch, from laying the egg to hatch, and it'll take about 21 days. So if you have something capped over, they're probably about halfway through that. So we'll probably see something in a week or 10 days. I'm gonna move this a little bit more. So yeah, we're kind of looking for egg activity. Just making sure our queen's nice and healthy. We have her marked too. I'll try to point her out here if we see her. Again, a lot of capped. So here's kind of a difference. This stuff in the top corner here, this is some capped honey that they've really built out, I think. It's kind of weird that it's yellow on top like that, but that might just be what they were using here. But you can see them working on the other side here.
It looks like your old wax.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they coated it with the old wax. That's a good call, hon. Yeah, so really I'm just looking at
We got some pollen pants over here.
Oh yeah, there you go, get that. So yeah, so how bees carry pollen is they'll go to a flower and they have what we call cargo pockets. I know there's a fancy term for it. I just refer to them as their cargo pockets. As an old soldier, got to fill up your pollen pockets, and then they'll take it to the hive. They'll put it in the little comb. They'll make something called bee bread out of it, or they'll, pollen is their protein. That's a good part of their diet. The nectar is actually, the carbs, the sugar, and it's like they're living off of steak and drinking sodas here. So that's pretty much their diet. All right, and this one's pretty light, so more capped over brood here. I'm also kind of doing okay. We got a little bit of uncapped brood. So you see the white there in the bottom of these cells. That is larvae. So it goes through 3 stages. It goes through an egg, a larvae, and then a pupae. So pupae is all these that are kind of capped over. These like nice hexagon, but if you see the white pearliness there,
I got a good shot.
That is a larvae. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for eggs, and eggs are very hard to spot. I've got more open over here. Oop, go.
Yep, she just bumped into me. Didn't see me.
So yeah, seeing good larvae. They're looking pearly. There's stuff at the bottom there, so that's good to see. Yeah, right now we're just checking to see if we find the queen or if we find evidence of her. I'm okay not seeing her as long as I know she's laid an egg, which are pretty hard to see. They're about the size of a grain of rice, and they stand upright for a few days. Yeah, if I can get some more smoke in here. They're turning up the notch a little bit. There we go. All right. So seeing some young in there. Those larvae are about a week old, so queen was fine a week ago or so. Oh, this one. All right, what do we got? Sorry, it's a little heavy, so this one's gonna be a little more difficult. Yeah, so this is a lot of that. I might pull that back frame out. Oh, you see this drone here? If I can put this down here because this is kind of heavy. Got a drone. Where'd he go? He's a big fella, and the reason you could tell a drone is their eyes actually touch together, where all these are female. You know, she's, oh, here he is. Here's that drone. So you see that big one that's moving kind of by the edge of my finger? So that's a drone. They're a good bit bigger than the worker bees. They don't do much. Their whole job is they fly out, they try to mate with the queen, and that's the end of their life. So yeah. They're just along for the ride. They'll just eat food, try to find a queen, you know, young queen that's doing her mating flight. We got some nice activity. If you can kind of see, if you can poke the camera down in there, you can see. So what are those bees doing? Those bees are measuring things. They're trying to figure out how much comb they need, and I just pulled this, so you'll see them kind of. This doesn't hurt them at all. They're trying to measure, and they hold hands, but that's how they measure. All right, so again, this is more of my 3D printed stuff. They're starting to really kind of work this one out. And you see on this side, they're building it up a little bit. So the queen's not going to be here because she can't really lay. I might pull a couple frames back just to really see. I didn't notice any new eggs, but they could have been under the bees. Again, new eggs are pretty hard to spot, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as I find some new eggs, I think we'll be all right. If my back will hold up. There we go. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of cap. Sorry, I'm gonna hope I'm not breathing into the mic here, but trying to blow on them gently to get them out of the way, just to, because I don't really have a good hand here to. Sometimes you need a third hand to brush them out of the way. I'm not seeing the queen or anything, but these bees are kind of covering up their swarms. I gotta try to move this out of the way so I can get a little bit of light behind me here. Alrighty. Well, I see some youngins in there. It's been a couple of days, 2, 3, 4 days. You can tell because I don't know if you're going to see that on the camera, deep down in the center there, you'll see them. They're not quite like touching. The larvae form kind of a circle, and they're not quite touching. So the queen's been here recently. This is probably 4 or 5 days ago. So again, not as worried if I'm seeing evidence of her. And the reason why I'm saying like a week or so that I kind of cause for concern is I did check on them a little bit, and I just want to make sure, you know, full frames, you might hurt the queen, so that's always kind of a little bit of a risk. But if I'm seeing activity from a couple of days ago, I'm more show you guys if I could find her. But I think we'll probably close this one up. They've been open a little bit. I'll just clean off some of this comb on top, just so. Oop, come on, lady. Come on. Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of just pull some of this comb off. All right. I think we might just. I need to start keeping a box of that. So you can keep the comb that they put on top here, and you can melt it down and just put it right back on their frames, like I did with these other foundations. That's kind of why I keep some of that. Alrighty. Yeah, just doing a little bit of maintenance. So bees, they like building honey or building comb anywhere they can. So that's why the bee boxes is kind of tightly packed, as you see. Is that they're really trying to.
Oop. I was gonna. Nope, it's fine.
Sorry.
It's all good.
I didn't realize you're not, like, I thought you were taking video of yourself. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where this queen is. I'd like to show her. She's marked, so she's not terribly difficult to find, but sometimes you're trying to like look past all the bees, and I might just have missed her, which is totally fine. Yeah, that's pretty capped over. And right now, I think not really the concern, but just making sure that she has enough room to lay. That's kind of the tricky part with these first couple of weeks, is just making sure that the queen has room to lay. Because sometimes
Pop that next one.
this one.
I thought I might have seen her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was. I think one side of it was. So she would probably be more on this side than anything. She might be on the other side, but again, the bees have a structure to them. They like to have the brood in the center. So moving outside is a little abnormal. Not necessarily saying it won't happen, but most of the time the queen won't have really a good place to lay. But I do see some brood on here, so she might be running around here. We'll see. We got one more hive. Hopefully we can pick up the queen on that. But I'm seeing some young, not necessarily a couple of days, but 3-4 days. So I definitely haven't been in the hive since then. So I think, sorry, hon. So I think we'll be okay. Mostly, again, the biggest risk is that I have is not necessarily seeing her. Just when I'm putting back a frame, I always try to be really careful around her to not hurt her. But yeah, I think we'll just call that good here. Again, good activity. They're building stuff out. They're getting going. So that's all really good to see. Well, can I get some smoke right down here in this corner just to clear those out so I don't roll all of them when I... Oop, you okay?
Sorry, got a little hot.
Oh, yeah, if it's...
Nope, it's good.
Was it the smoke or was it...
I touched the hot part.
Oh, I gotcha. Sorry about that, hon.
Nope, that was me. Operator.
So yeah, the unfortunate part is sometimes you kind of can't avoid killing a bee or two. There's a lot of them. So we're just trying to make sure that we get all the, namely the important one, the queen. You kind of can't have a hive too much without a queen, so that's my only concern. Frame is I just want to make sure I don't accidentally kill it if I don't know where she is. All right, and that's kind of all there is to it. We're gonna close this one up. I'm gonna put the back box on and all that stuff, and we'll get some more feed for that. But we'll crack into this other hive here, and don't worry about all these. I probably pollen and stuff probably fell out, so they're just gathering it up. They'll just go back inside here, so nothing to worry about there. All right.
Smoke them out there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Come on, girls.
There we go. I think we're fine. Except for that one. There we go. Yep. So we're going pretty good there. And I'm just going to put this screen board like that. I'll just cover the top since that'll do what we need it to do here. Alright. And the reason you might see we got some cinder blocks on here, the reason we do that is mostly just for the wind. And it also kind of helps any overly inquisitive keepers or animals from getting to them, and so pretty much only a keeper can get into it. Things that like sweet things, around here it'd be mostly skunks, things like that. We'll try to get in there. So all those creatures, raccoon, that can add little people hands can lift up the lid. Alrighty. I'm probably actually gonna swap spots with you because that's probably gonna be the best way I can work them. Alrighty. And here we got hive number 2. Now these are... What's up? Oh. Now these are two... as I just flung a bunch of bees. Sorry about that. 2 different types of bees. Got them from a local bee shop around here. This one, again, is our control hive. This is using everything kind of commercial grade. But yeah, right off top you can see, hey, there's a little bit less comb production on top here. I did scrape this when we did our first, check-in on them. They had a bunch of comb built up, but I'll show you kind of how that differs here. I'll just pull this one out. So I don't expect anything on these outer edges. As you see, they're building a. Oh, that might have been. I might have dropped a chunk of comb down in there, and they might be building on that. We might have to dispose of that one for them. I was hoping they would break it up and use it. Looks like they're just attaching it. So. All right. Well, we're just gonna set that one off to the side there. Alright, so same deal as before. We're looking to see how they're building out this comb. So this was commercial grade foundation. Now I don't know the population numbers between this hive and the other one, but the other hive seemed to have fewer numbers. So they're a little slower on building out this foundation. So you see the black foundation is what they were starting with. You can see in this top corner over here is what they're starting with. And this is them actually in production building it. They're starting to pack the tops of it, but they're really trying to get these big enough for the queen to lay in is what they're doing. You see a little bit of activity on this side. There is, let's see if I can get to that. Well, there's a little chunk of wax I put down there, but I guess we'll just leave that in the bottom. I am still learning myself. This is year one, but been going courses, getting as much as I can, so we're all going to be learning together. And I think just because you got some years on you doesn't mean you can't learn something new. Alrighty. Alright, so we got some capped brood, as we're seeing. Some new larvae, sorry. And then on this side, yeah, more cap stuff. The larvae are a little bit older, probably getting towards a week. So they're probably going to get capped over and not too much longer here. Alrighty. Here's that one. We're just going to slide that down a little bit. Now, it's not the end of the world. I mentioned before how the queen, it's not the end of the world if I don't find her. Even if something does happen to her, you can replace the queen. And this is a lot of... Sorry, hon. I just bombed you in the head with that. Yeah, a lot of capped bees. So those ones will be hatching here, next week or so. We're seeing a lot of population growth, which is good.
Swarm cell? What's going
No,
on
I think that was a chunk of just regular wax. So the reason you can tell, Mel said a swarm cell. What a swarm cell is, here, get a better look for the camera. Swarm cell is when they're going to try to replace a queen, or not replace a queen, but that the current queen is going to leave, take half the troops, and that they're going to raise a new queen out of that. The reason you can tell it's not one is there's no hole in the bottom. Queen eggs are larger, so as opposed to laying in this direction, they'll actually be laying down like that. So yeah, I think that was just some of that comb that I dropped down there. I was, again, rookie mistake. I was thinking they would repurpose it, and they did, just not in the way I expected. Bees gonna be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So now we're getting into the midst of the brood here, I would expect. And we'll see if we see our queen. Okay, so you see a lot of larvae that are about to be capped here. Left side of your screen. I don't know if you guys can see that there. They're really big in there, so they're going to get capped over not too much longer. Alright, a lot of cap stuff. So again, kind of one of the concerns when you see like a new nucleus or a new package is right off the bees might think the queen has a problem if she isn't laying a lot. So we're seeing her lay about a week or two ago, and we're seeing a lot of that capped. So hopefully they don't make a decision if they're like, oh, we're not seeing new eggs, that they're not like thinking she's a problem and they'll take care of her. But that's kind of what we're looking for right now. Is just, again, haven't seen new brood here, but we're seeing a week or so ago, which is good. Alrighty. Just trying to get some bearings on what they're doing here. Yeah, I got, again, older stuff, probably about a week or so. And that might just be the current pattern until the bees get more comb built out. I'm not seeing a whole lot empty for the queen to go that's already built. A lot of it is already packed with food and stuff like that, so the bees kind of are in a little bit of that spot where you're like, oh, they might not have a room to lay. And I just make sure, I hope they don't get mad at the queen for that one.
Shooting ashes around here.
Oh, okay. We'll take a quick break, and we're probably out of fuel on that one, but I got some in my pocket here. Alrighty.
I don't want to burn anybody.
Yeah, here, I'll take that. We'll just load her up here. Oh, you might want to step back just since you won't have smoke. So yeah, smoker, a lot of people will use burlap. Some will use just wood chips or alfalfa even. So really you just kind of tie it up, and you don't, I'll see if I can get it going just with this. There's still a little bit going on in there. But you really just try to get a little bit of an ember going, and then it'll blow a cool smoke on them. It's kind of what you're wanting. And I see a little bit of a fire. Let's give it a little bit more. All right, so I'm seeing some flames now, so I think we're good. I'll just kind of make sure that's all cleared up. So I just brought the lighter out just in case it needs some fire. So yeah, just some rolled up burlap. It tends to kind of be the industry, not industry standard, but just very common. All right, and see, there you go. Now we got a good working smoker again. All right, we'll get back to it. All right. Yeah. So we'll see how we're doing here.
Hand me the smoker.
Oh, it's okay, hon. I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Smoke and
Yeah. I was kind of planning on it, and you just snagged the smoker from me and just started rolling. So appreciate that. All righty. What do we got here? All right. Well, so I am seeing open spots, which is good, because again, that might mean the queen can lay. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the light here so I can see down in there. It's a little bit of an exercise in futility sometimes. So I'd like to find the queen. They're not terribly hard to spot, but apparently today they are. They're all hiding. The way you kind of find it, she's actually got a mark on her back, and maybe if I look through the footage, maybe I'll see her when I review it. But I didn't see her, either one of them. So both of them marked blue. We have a standard every year. They rotate colors, so you know how old your queen is, because the queens will live about 2-3 years usually. But it also it'll kind of let you know again how old she is. So if she's swarmed or stuff like that, you might not notice on a day unless she's marked. All right, I don't expect to see her here because I'm not seeing much drawn out. This would be a little premature. But again, seeing it a few days old, so I'm not upset about that. I did see some younger kind of larvae in there. And the queen, kind of notorious for trying to hide, so I'm just checking down in those frames just to see if there's any major activity. They're getting a little agitated in there. I'll smoke them a little bit. Well, I had one of them dripping all over the place, so I guess I'm gonna have to wash off my smoker. Let's pull this a little bit just to see. Yeah, they did get a little agitated down in there. Now you see this big chunk here in the middle, or kind of middle right. That is a drone cell.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's them raising drone. You can tell because they're so much bigger. All right. Yeah, I think they just got a little agitated because I think one of these had some really fresh either nectar or honey on it, and it dripped all over the place. So they're like, "Oh, let's clean it all up." Yeah, there we go. Again, I would like to show you guys a queen if I could. That might be fun to see. And again, she could very well be at the bottom there, and I might not see her if she's working on something else. It's one of those where, you know, there's so many of such a certain type, and you're just trying to find one, you know? She is a little bit longer, a little bit bigger, and she usually has a little retinue following her. Is that her? No, that's whenever you see a bee kind of covered up, you kind of have to do a little glance and check. She'll have a little retinue. They take care of her while she's laying. She'll lay 1,000 or so, maybe more eggs a day. So we're just trying to, again, keep an eye on her. Hope that thing doesn't stick to my hand. Alrighty. Yeah, a lot of this new stuff here. All right. Well, it looks like I'm gonna check the bottom of these frames. I think I did already, but
Sorry.
it's okay, hon. Yeah, I'm trying to see if any of these are, if they're trying to make swarm cells. Swarm cells would be good because I mean the queen is there. If you see a queen cell hanging halfway down, like this one right here, this is a good example, right kind of north of my thumb. You see how, I'm going to flip it over, so you see how that one's hanging upside down. So that is either the queen has a problem or kind of a maintenance thing. They'll make a new queen cell, and if the queen lays in it, it'll kind of always happen, and it's to check the health of the queen. If the queen is not doing well, that queen will come out and take care of her. If she is doing well, the current queen will take care of the one that is just hatching. So not the end of the world to see something like that, but you could see it isn't capped or anything, so there's nothing in there yet. So yeah, we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. Again, I haven't seen the queen, so that is a little bit of a, I don't know, not cause for concern. I haven't seen something super young. But I'm seeing a lot of capped actually now. Sorry, I put this down, but I didn't really look for young brood. I'm just doing a double check just to make sure I didn't miss anything. The lighting today is kind of overcast, so it's really hard to see down into a cell. That's kind of why I'm taking time to do a really deep check over here. Oh, they're getting a little angry at me. I'll just put that there. Yeah, and we'll just pull this last one up one more time here.
Get some more smoke over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting a little agitated. I mean, they're working good, so that's good to see. You know, they're building stuff out. They're not giving any signs that the queen's not really present. Usually they'll like just kind of be aimless and wandering around and generally just going, what is going on? And they're not really doing that, so I'm not super perturbed. More, again, like I said, I'd just like to show you what a queen looks like. But she is playing hard to get today. Yeah, well, alright, sometimes you don't get it. Well, I did see some kind of younger ones there on that last frame. Not a lot, but I am not seeing a whole lot of room for the queen to lay right now, so that could be, that could be it as well. Alright, these girls are getting angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
You took my smoker away.
well, you're filming and taking pictures and such. Doing good work, hon. All right, I'm just going to pull this last one. There is some drawn comb here, so we'll just do one last check. Okay, well, we're seeing, yeah, a few days old. Just doing pretty good. Oh, you okay?
Yep. Just bumped into me. I'm still nervous.
It's okay. All right. Okay, well, yeah, so I guess she was more leaning on this one, so she might actually be around here. Oh, hang on, can I get your phone out of the way? Sorry. Thought I saw her. It was again, they kind of cover them up, so it's a little hard to find sometimes. All right, well, other than that, I mean, okay, yeah, I'm seeing more activity here. The bees were kind of covering it up here, but we're seeing better. We're seeing better newish hatched. I haven't seen brand new eggs, but again, it might just not be the day for that because of the light.
Well, we had very bad weather.
Yes, yeah.
Last couple days.
Very bad weather. So yeah, well, we'll just go ahead and.
Some more smoke.
Yeah.
Close them up.
Yeah, we'll close them up. But yeah, so I'm not seeing them be aimless, so that's again a good sign. The queen, when she's present, will have a pheromone that kind of tells them what to do, but tells them that all is good in the world. So, oh, yep, see, I just like looking at drawn out comb, but I didn't really look. Oh, did she lay in here? I might have to start getting ready for a new one here, a new box. Like right at the line. They have this one completely drawn, and they're working on this side.
Sad. So Queenie is not going to be over here.
No, she won't be over here. But they're working to draw it out. So, yeah. But this is, so you want to give them another box when they're about 70-80% full. I might go ahead and add a new box to them here in the next day or so, because that was 8 of 10 that they're really working on. So these guys are a little bit ahead of the other one. Yeah, not much going on there. So yeah, they're these ones I think are doing well. Again, I just try not to crush anybody here. They're doing well. Again, I wish I could have showed you guys a queen, but sometimes she hides, and that's okay. I'm just kind of tightening these up so that they don't build out a bunch of wonky comb right there between the frames. Even though this this nuke that I got, they had kind of already done a little bit of that, so we'll just try to manage it the best we can. We're just going to put the top back on here. These girls are a little upset, so we'll just kind of give them their house back, put the roof on and all that. And there you have it. So yeah, they're looking pretty good. I'll continue to feed them. They're still building comb, which is really why we keep feeding them. It just really helps with that. They're not having to work as hard to find food if they've already got, if they've got a cheeseburger on right there, and they'll grab that. So it kind of helps them focus on building comb. So bees actually have a kind of regimented system. They'll hatch right around day 21. Sorry, I'm just fixing this box here because it got bumped off. They'll hatch around day 21. Then they'll start, making what we call royal jelly, which is where that's what they'll feed the young. Then they'll go into wax production and then move on into foraging and going and getting nectar and pollen and going and grabbing groceries. So that's kind of what they're doing, the life cycle wise. So when we see wax production, that's kind of like they're like a middle-aged person. They're like, okay, yeah, we're just making wax now, as opposed to feeding the kids. So yeah, there we go. And that is an inspection. Might take you guys inside and show you how we mix up these jars, and we'll just probably do a quick little check-in and go from there. But thanks for watching.